Good morning, everybody. How is everyone doing this fine day? I know I'm excited to get into a bit of balloons. Um, Gosh, it has been a bit. Let's get to what the actual plan is. So, the main plan for today is beat this Odyssey. I already put together a team that I think should work. Um, I did some testing on each of these maps, and then I also tested for the not I'd win. I do want to try and get that done today if possible. Don't know if it will happen or not. We'll find out. In terms of the internet stuff, still limited on what will happen, mainly just because I had to do so much and they said, "Oh, we'll get it fixed soon." That could be any time for all I know. But I mean, this doesn't look too bad. The worst one is going to be least tiers. But for some of these, like this one, as long as I use Sada, I should be good. Because I don't know how Geraldo is affected by this. NTN is not worth it in this case. Because I need a hero that can deal a good chunk of damage. Quincy was the other one I was debating. But looking at the fact that I'm probably going to need a village for most of these, except maybe like the first two, I might be able to get away with not having to. Also, this one only goes to 40, so I only need to worry about one Moab. This is the one I'm the most worried about, though, is the final one, because that one's looking pretty bad. Rake is the one that I'm also worried about. Adora's Temple, I should be good, as long as I don't start from the top for my, like, the top of the temple. I got some ideas. This is probably one of the best places to put Sada. I'll get faster firing. I might want to get shrapnel on it, just depending. But seeing the fact that we only have 1 health for this entire Odyssey, we also need to be careful because it's an extreme Odyssey. And extreme Odysseys are a pain in the ass because of the fact that once we use a tower, we can't use it again unless it is a hero. But I got some ideas. I mainly want this going first with shrapnel. I think that's going to do the best for us. I'm debating how safe I feel with just these two, though. Because I brought extra spike factories because I didn't know what I was going to do for other stuff. Because the only thing banned is super mines. Otherwise, I probably would have worried more about it. I did think about bringing some more dart monkeys, but I was like, I feel like spike factories are good to have in case each map. As like a backup if I don't feel like fully confident in like a bad way. Like if I'm confident I can do relatively well and not just auto fail, that's one thing. But yeah, I can actually use this to kind of chill and whatnot. A lot of yesterday was just trying to do shit with the internet provider and them trying to blame me when the issue was an easy check for me because I turned off my modem and they said, "Oh, the modem hadn't been turned off at all in the last 5 days," which is the biggest bullshit ever. But basically it's like I know the workers have to read off a script that they're given, but God, if it isn't annoying. Because after a point, you're just like, we're really going to keep doing this. I'll get bigger stacks on this. If need be, I can always put a dart monkey down. Actually, no, I don't know if I want to waste a dart monkey on this. I'm just thinking about, like, long term. Because I know I'm going to need the most for the final one. Because I don't want to use a sniper in the next one, preferably, if I don't have to. Just in case. Because the only leads we should have to deal with, I think Sada can easily deal with, but better safe than sorry. I could always upgrade her too with the extra money. Because the only one we'll have to worry about least tiers for, I have an idea. Because that's why I grabbed the Monkey Ace, is for the least tiers and the final one possibly. Because I don't know if I'll need it for the final one, just depends. It just depends what I can do with it. I got ideas. Are they the best ideas? No. But who knows? Maybe things will go right for me. You never know till it happens. And with the balloons faster, it's like, oh boy. Yeah, because I definitely won't be able to get it much better than this. I could try and upgrade the sniper, but I don't know if that's going to be worth it without selling something. So it's like, Yeah, Sada does so well against balloons in these maps. Yeah, with how fast the balloons are, though, I think Sada should do great. Because we don't need to worry about the second round of leads. Bouncing bullet for the lulz. Oh, wait, no. Second round's 30. I always thought it was 35. And this is why I got huts. That's why I got the hot ones. Okay, that was... $39 of 41. I like how it says that, but it's like... It's technically 40... like 40, and then it's like, okay, cool, we used 2. But technically we used 3. Sada, we need to get to 40. I can think of a great way to deal with this, Moab. But I'm gonna need this. I'm basically gonna try and use the least amount necessary for this. I want to try and get a fire breath wizard, because that would just destroy the Moab. Though, definitely worrying. Okay. I do like that the Odysseys are actually like getting harder, because it does give more of a challenge. And I do like myself a good challenge. Okay. Come on. I am 500 away. Actually, less than that. I'm seeing how long I can hold out before I have to get something. Okay, yeah, I should definitely be able to get it this round. Perfect. Because that's going to save us so much time. I could go for a Summon Phoenix if I want, but don't really need to. But yeah, like, I have a few strategy ideas for each of these, but some of them I'm just like, I just gonna go off top of my head what I can do with using the least, so I can save the most for the final ones, because I know those are going to be the hardest, and that's what worries me the most. But I know I have D&D tomorrow after stream, so I'm like really excited, because so I rolled the treasure table for that, and if they decide to follow the ghost and actually take it out completely and get the treasure hoard, they're going to be getting a lot of stuff because it's a pirate, and it's what hasn't been, and it's like the stuff that hasn't rotted away, hasn't like disappeared or gotten flushed away by the current. Most of the ship is broken, but this is the stuff that basically did not get destroyed fully. And what I basically have done with it is they also will get a mysterious, like, crystalline disc, which is going to lead to the Great Crater that I have a plan with to basically allow them to get access to stuff that isn't normal to Pensari because aliens and whatnot, because the Great Crater is created by a giant alien spaceship. Little fun fact for you. And it's given me so many good ideas. Okay. Because if I can get away with just this, boom. Now comes the part where we actually need to worry about our, like, overall uses. Because those first two, not too bad. This is where I'm probably going to have to start doing, and this is why I grabbed 5 villages. I want to put Sada, like, here. If I can... Boom, boom, boom. And then I need to work on getting him plasma blasts is my hope. Because those crits are going to help a lot. And if need be, I can always, like, add an alchemist, but I'm going to try and save as many as I can. Because the reason I chose this super monkey specifically is because it has the ability to hit 2 at once. Plus, with purples being my biggest issue, Sada is all I'm going to have for that. So I could get a dart monkey. Or, my other idea was a boomerang, but I'm not going to use it yet. Because I want to get the plasma blasts before 59, preferably. Because that's going to be, like, the big downward one of it. Because those are going to be a pain in the ass. Okay. Okay. And I want glaives. But the reason I want turbocharge is just for the extra speed. I thought about glaive ricochet, but I think this is just going to be better for, like, overall. But this is where I kind of want to save money, preferably. I could have probably gone for Intelligence Bureau, but this gives me more, like, versatility. And it's why I chose this, because I would not have been able to get Intelligence Bureau in time for the purples. And I'm not 100% sure Sada could handle them with the balloon speed up. Because everything is camo rainbow with this one. Not rainbow, regrow. Bah. Looks at a rainbow balloon. Ah, yes, they're all rainbows. God, I am a mess of a person today. I know I am personally really excited, though. Because there's so many things I am just like, ooh, this is coming out, this is coming out, I have this on the list. Like, there's so many things on my list of, like, I want to play that, I want to try that, I want to do this. Yeah. I know for Friday, right now, I'm thinking about just keeping Fridays as random game days for now. Before I, like, switch it back to a specific game, just because then it gives a little more, like, fun to Fridays, where it's like, what am I feeling? Am I feeling Minecraft? Maybe I'll do Minecraft. Am I feeling balloons? Maybe I'll do balloons. And sometimes that's just a good way to go about it, is like, what sounds fun? Okay, I want to get Tech Tear if I could, but I don't think I will. You know, that's just pop all balloon types. I could also just level Sada up a lot, but I don't think I need to do that. Yeah, the Super Monkey, definitely the worthwhile choice for this one. Because the only reason I brought extras of certain towers like Boomerang and Dart is you never know when you'll need them. Same thing with the Bomb Shooter. The only ones I really have any idea of what I wanted to use the Bomb Shooter on was the first one, the fourth one, and the fifth one. Because those were the ones I was looking at the most of where I might need one. This is also another one I was like, I might want something for regrows, but not much I can do. Okay. Because, yeah, I don't get enough kills quickly. Yeah, that takes out a bunch, and then boom. It's just this one, which gets absolutely shredded. I wasn't paying attention, and I did that to myself. Okay. This next one, I have a few ideas. But I have landed on 3 separate ones, but I'm gonna go with them in order. So, no matter what, Sada ends up here because she's 1 tier, takes a bunch out. I want that. Spectre. With Rapid Fire. And then... Perfect. Because this was my first idea of 3. Does it work? Yes, but I do get worried about needing my ability a few times. Though, it just depends. Because I know some of it was also RNG. Knowing my luck. But yeah, like, this one at least we can just let go and, like, okay, we can't really upgrade any of them. So, most we can do really is just use abilities as needed. Remove that for the lulz. Not like it does anything for us, but I wanted to make sure that this guy was buffed this time, because when I first did this idea, I didn't do middle path, I did bottom path, and I moved him up to hit both Sada and the plane. So I'm hoping this might do a little bit better, but there are times where I, like, when I actually have some time before stream, I'll actually do things, and, like, when it comes to BTD, it's usually come up with strategies. And that's if I have enough time before stream. Since I always start in sandbox mode, it's like, might as well. I will say, if we're gonna go for not, I'd win. I have a few ideas for a strategy, but not gonna be easy. Okay. I'm like keeping my... Because I know which rounds are gonna be the problem rounds. So I'm like keeping my eye on it. Because if we can beat this, we have that entire section just for us. I'm like keeping my eye open. Yeah, 73 is not as bad of a worry just because now see, if 73 came out all at once, then it would have been a worry, but it doesn't. Spectre with rapid fire is so good. Where'd my mouse go? I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Half the time I lose my mouse whenever I play this game. And the crazy part is if I go to here and go to accessibility, no, it's not in accessibility. Where is it? But like I believe my mouse is at the biggest it is supposed can be, if I remember correctly. But I might be wrong. This is the one that I was pretty worried about. Wow, 76 just got shredded. The next worry is 78. 'Cause 78 is going to be a pain in the ass. Because it's that final one that becomes a pain in... It's that final one where I'm like... Because if I remember correctly, it's the second. Sword charge the second. Then we still have this for the next round as if needed. God, that one always there's just some rounds that you see something and it's just like as you watch it because it's like, oh dear God. I need the balloon bleed on that. Start with that. Gets a bit of extra damage on it. And then when it gets down to... There we go. Oh, that final round, I had to use that sword charge. I just don't trust myself enough with that because that sword charge, so much pain gone. Okay, here comes the last. This one should actually not be too bad as long as we play this smart. You know, this is a perfect one to have a boss theme with. Okay, Can I fit this here? Okay. And then I need this to get hit by 2, preferably. Oh. I mean... Yeah, I need that hit by 2 at least. Sada, I'm putting over here. Okay. Can I put... Oh, perfect. And then I want that there. Because I'm trying to get an Archmage. Because 95 is going to be the worry. Because I can't get Balloon Crush. Got that. Make sure that that's getting buffed. It just shoots so damn fast. My hope is that this will help keep it, like, relatively topped up, but it's not working too well for me. This is the one I have the least strategies for. I just know Flying Fortress is my main, like, prayer. And my next one is trying to get a Dark Knight. Okay. Because I can't sell. I was really hoping these actually do more this time. But didn't think about the fact that because I had done just one of these with the bottom path, and I thought two like this would do better, but nope. Which, fair. That's on me. Yeah, because the Flying Fortress can take out the first of those. I wonder if I had not gotten those and this first. No, I wouldn't be able to yet, but because I don't know if I want Dark Champion. I just know as we get further into this, it's going to be more of a pain in the butt. Yeah, Carpet of Spice is too expensive. Sada's already at level 10. Thank God balloons are a bit slower. Okay. Okay, this one I'm worried about. DDTs come out any second. There they are. Frick. Okay. I'm gonna restart and try something a little bit different. Shit, I need to... It's K, not J. Or... Okay, then I can do this. I need that. I want Sada here still. Because no matter what, I'm stuck at getting only 2 for this guy. If I get him earlier... Oh, I can actually get him down here now. That should hopefully help a bit. And then let's try and get Dark Champion. I wonder if that'll... I think that'll make a good difference instead of, like, buffing the Flying Fortress. Because we were really close to getting Dark Champion there, and I think that might actually be what we need. Sada over here like, get ready for this, get ready for that, despite the fact that, like, I already know what's coming. You ever wonder what the hero's favorite foods are? Like, these are things I think about in the shower sometimes, where it's like, ah, yes. Because, like, I get so many weird ideas. I'll be sitting in the shower and just be like, if we had tails, do you think tail backpacks and tail bags would actually be, like, a popular thing for, like, fashion? Because these are, like, my brain actually does think about these things. Like, I think they would be a very good form of fashion. But I feel like after a point, it'd become like a fanny pack. Where it's seen as kind of weird. But you never know. Because, like, I've actually thought quite a bit about some of this stuff where it's like, I have a random shower thought. And then I'm like, just one of those things. I'm debating if I want to leave this guy here and just keep Dark Champion. Because that actually might be useful for the final bits. I honestly thought this would be a, like, more difficult Odyssey overall. But I think part of it is also I came into this one with a plan, unlike the last time. So, like, that probably has a pretty good, reasonable, like, point to it. See, this is one where I'm like, okay, I'm a little more okay with it. Take those out with that. Okay. Do 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 boop 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 boop. I wonder if it would have been better if I, like, flipped this, but I don't know if it would have been good if I flipped the centered path or not. I don't even think it might not have even had a difference for all I know. Right now, I just know that I am hoping to get Dark Champion. Yeah, the reason I got this is mainly for those ceramics. And we have some time before the first DDTs. If I can get Dark Champion as they are, like, coming out, that might help. Balloon Crush could also help if I could actually get it, but it's restricted. And Bob Blitz isn't really useful for its ability in this case. Damn it. Okay. Could I fit this somewhere I could get 3? No, but I can fit it somewhere I'd get 2. Though I think I want it here. And I want that to focus on the DDTs. And there's a reason for that. Because those are my biggest issues. Because as long as it focuses on those early ones, that could help. I don't know if I want to get Elite Defender, though. I want to be a little more, like, conservative on some of these monkeys. Damn it. Okay, so that didn't work. Meaning my next idea is this. Is it the best idea? No. But it's an idea. And instead of going for Dark Champion, getting this might be worth it. Until it comes to round 100, where it's like, I also could have probably put an Alchemist on this guy. I'm just hoping that'll help. Oh, wow. That didn't even work. Okay, so then... let's try this. This is literally my plea for hoping. Because I know it's possible to get past this. Okay, that was close. My other idea is this. And it would still help because it would go through each of them. I'd prefer not to use the Spike Factory if I don't need to. But I don't know if there's... let's try this. Because this might actually be what we need. Sometimes it's just that easy. Other times it's not. There we go. Damn it. That didn't work either. Okay. This may seem weird, but okay, let's try Glaive. This is one of the reasons I brought Glaive Lord, because not only is it good with like crowds of balloons, it's great with Moabs because of its abilities. Was Glaive Lord what we oh my god, Glaive Lord actually was what we needed here. Perfect. Okay. That should hopefully help with the big balloons. Have that target camo. Okay. I'm hoping those help the most. Because I don't think we're going to get the Dark Champion. Hey, Cruel. I'm okay. I am just chilling. Trying to beat the Odyssey. And we're seeing how well we can do about it. Whew. Thank God for Glaive Lord. I certainly will hydrate. Hydration is very important. It's always good to make sure you're hydrated. Oh yeah, the main Moab right here, doing great work for this. Because yeah, they get shredded. I'm worried about 99 and 100. 100, I at least have the Glaive Lord for. 99, I don't know how much that's gonna help. Oh yeah, I forgot that doesn't make any money. Durr. I am debating Elite Sniper because it does reload the snipers fast. Though I'm not 100% sure that's what I'm gonna do. Damn it. I'm gonna do this. Dragon's Breath. Jeez. Pretty late for you. Honestly, I'd suggest sleep personally, but that's a me thing. I'm just debating here what I want to do about some of these later rounds, because I might have actually screwed myself if Glaive Lord isn't the answer. So I'm just hoping it is. Shit. The other one that could work here. Damn it. I'm just thinking how, because one is going to be a little different. I don't want to restart if I don't have to. So it's kind of like, do I have to? I hope not. Because that would suck. I'm wondering if Sada might have been the issue, though. Because I can't get that ability. What if I... Because I'm just wondering. You know what? I'm also going to do this. With faster throwing. Maybe that'll help. I literally just gotta hope. That's all I can really do. Yeah, I might I'm probably gonna rest. Fair. Well, I do hope you sleep well, though. I'm actually gonna restart here and not use Sada. Okay, I want these. Frick, I did that on accident. Sleep well. I have an idea, but it requires a... Requires a little bit more, except not using Sada as much. Put her here. This is the one I do wish I actually spent more time on. But I'm gonna work to an intelligence bureau and then call to arms for the ability. Because that might be how I actually can beat it, is through the ability of call to arms. And, yeah. Hey, 22. How are you doing today? The other thought for me is getting this with Plasma Blasts. Because if I can get a Robo Monkey with Plasma Blast, that'd do pretty good. Just gotta hope that it would be good enough. I'd probably want to set one of the hands to strong, though. But I hope everyone's doing well today, and if not, I do hope things get better. It's actually a nice day out today, so I'm excited for that. I actually was talking with my one friend because she wants to DM and whatnot about her own campaign, which is gonna be depression be beating me. Well, sometimes it be that way. I understand that wholeheartedly. Sometimes you just gotta push past it. And God, that just feels so, like, weird saying out loud. But it's literally what I have to say to myself to get out of bed some days to stream. Because they're not even just stream, but work. Like, there are just some days where it's like, I just don't want to get out of bed at all. And then I feel better once I do. But that's probably because, for me, streaming is basically like a form of therapy. Like, I love streaming. It's one of the things I enjoy, so that's probably part of it. But, I know I was kind of going, like, over some of the stuff with my character, with my friend. And she did help me a bit, so I kind of was able to better, like, do the backstory. So the druids that basically helped him learn his magic were from the swamp village that him and his mom lived in the outskirts of. And his mom made a deal with the god of shadows so she could actually have a child, aka my character. And he technically is a demigod, but it doesn't change anything else about him except for, like, some small things of, like, oh, that's why he has his mark of the shadow. But it also gives the DM a lot more, like, stuff they can do with that. So I'm excited to see what she does with it. I do want to get a Kylie boomerang, though. Because if I can get that just Moab press, that would be very nice. Because my hope is to use this for, like, the extra attack speed for 98. But basically, because of that, we'll see what happens with my character, but I know I'm excited because it's going to be a more casual. Because I prefer a more casual D&D thing, personally. I think it allows for a lot more to happen. But I also really enjoy, like, sticking to characters with my group. It's really fun. But I know for me, it's like, been doing so much. It's just nice to, like, relax with some D&D finally after so long. Because we finally have more free time. Because it's great when one of them's just like, oh my god, thank God I was able to get that day off. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Because it finally get to do D&D. I know, I've also been baking a bit more recently just because I've needed to. And I know it's come through on streams recently too, other than just my internet issues. Like, me playing with my fidget cube more on stream is, like, a lot louder and more noticeable because it's something that happens the more stressed I get as I fidget more. It's an unintentional thing too, so it's just like I'll be sitting here fidgeting more and more. I'm just hoping that they get here to fix the cable issues sooner rather than later. Oh, we'll get it done soon. That could be today. It could be next month. Because that's just how they are. Though it still annoys the hell out of me that they're trying to blame, like, us for the issue because we don't have one of their routers, but it's like, bruh. I'm gonna do this. And as soon as the DDTs come out, I will press 4. Come on. Because then we'll get the increased attack speed. That's my hope, that it will help. But I know, like, I do so much fidgeting already when I get stressed. But, like, outside of that, I still fidget, just not anywhere near as much. So it's weird seeing myself fidget so much more. Because you get so used to it after a point. And it just is like, oh, man. I'm debating what I want to do about... Oh, shit, I dropped something. You ever accidentally bump something off your desk and you're like, oh, shoot. I need to save this for 98. Okay. Because, yeah, this is pretty nice. For us, like... Honestly, this is going better than I thought it would for us. Like, I thought it would take us a lot longer than, like, an hour, like an hour and a half or something like that. But sometimes it just doesn't. Dang it, I can't get that. I'm gonna get one of these. My hope is that will be useful. You know, thinking about it, I probably could have put Sada, like, over here, but meh. Yeah, that one connects it. I'm just debating, do I want to get stronger, or do I just want to go with stronger stimulant, or do I want to go for the acid? Honestly, I could just stay stronger stimulant and not worry. Like, for all that matters to me, I could just do that. There we go. Okay, and then as soon as... Okay, then we'll use that. Okay. Just hoping that lasts long enough. I'll get faster throwing. I'm hoping that'll make a difference. Yeah, I needed to delay that more. Okay. I'm gonna wait until the ZOMGs and stuff are gone. That might actually be the better option here. Okay. We'll start with that. Up there is like so nerve-wracking for me. Hey! Oh. Dang it. And I don't have it back for this either. Okay, so since we don't have it back for 99, we'd have to either delay it until it happened, or, and this is the weird part, we could try something a bit different. Though I think this might be our best option. Because that will do a little extra damage. I'm hoping that'll make a big enough difference. Nope. Well, there is one more thing I could do. I could put another bomb shooter down. Okay. I want this to target those frickin' DDTs. Damn it. I wonder. If I do this. This is just me spouting some ideas, but this could work. That somehow did worse. We're gonna do this. Dang it. Bouncing bullet. What if I get 2 bouncing bullets and focus them on the one on the camo? And then just get 2 of these. And then after we get enough, another faster production. Shit. I'm just thinking how I can do this without having to restart fully, but this is the difficult part. Some of these later rounds, you need to restart fully. So it's like, well, crap. But it's giving me ideas. I'm just debating. Would it have been better to go for the bottom path because it does more damage to camo balloons? You know what? I'm also going to do this. I'm hoping that'll do more, but we'll just have to see. And if I do that, then I do want the Flying Fortress. Like, that is a no-brainer. The Flying Fortress carries us. It carries us harder than anything. And I want this. And then that. And I'm gonna put this guy here. And then I'm gonna probably want to put a few other things down, but that's a later meeting. I'm gonna start on that Robo Monkey again, and I'm gonna try it with I do want to get Monkey Intelligence Bureau though. And its upgrade. But I want to go for bottom path with this instead. Because as long as I have the Intelligence Bureau, it will be able to, like, still hit the leads and damage them. I'm hoping that extra camo damage we'll get will do something. Will that actually do something? I don't know. We'll just have to see. But it does give me ideas. I'm just hoping that this is gonna do enough. Because we aren't in free play, thank God. Because if we were in free play, we'd be making less and less and less and less and less money each round. Which is good that they count, like, anything after the main thing as free play. So, like, 80 to 100 doesn't count when you're an impoppable, for example. At least from what I remember. So that could have changed, for all I know. Or I could have just been told something wrong. Call to arms. Okay, now I have that, because I know I'm going to need it for 98. Bow, 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 bow. And maybe that knockback will actually do a little more than I expect. DDTs! I'm gonna do Ultra Vision first, just for that extra damage. I think it's gonna be better overall. I know I'm gonna want to put this guy here, and then I'm gonna want an Alchemist. And then I'm gonna want this up here. I'm just putting these down for now, so I remember. Because I know sometimes I forget. Because since I'm changing my strategy a lot, there's certain things I want to keep the same. Instead of giving this guy fast throwing, I'm just gonna leave him as is. Even if the buff isn't constant, that buff will still make a difference. Okay. I'm gonna use it for 95 just so we actually take it out. I'd rather be safe than sorry. And actually, I do want this to be strong. I think that's gonna do better than just last. Stronger stim. Do I want to go for impact first, probably, and then main Moab? But I know I'm gonna need both. Because I'm gonna be taking this really, like, seriously. I need that extra speed. Balloon impact, because that's gonna at least do something. Because I'm gonna... Okay, so with all of this, by round 100, I'm still gonna have, like, at least 10,000 left. Because I can't really think of what else might help. Because centralizing my defense over here is risky, but if I can get enough damage at least, then it won't matter. I'm hoping this does more than the plasma. To, like, the DDTs, because those are my biggest issue. May Moab? Question is, do I want this to be target on camos first? I think so. So it's going to go for strong, but if there's a camo version, then it's going to go for that first. Okay. Use that. And maybe I'll get enough for 99, but I will at least have it by 100. I know that. Boop, boop, boop. Shoot, it just ran out. But yeah, look at that. It is so, it's a lot closer now. Okay. Um. Dang it. Okay, so. Hmm. What would work? This may seem crazy, but still gonna do a lot. Even if I don't have the ability. Dang it. Okay, so let's look at this from an outside perspective now. I have everything I would ever need, it feels like. Okay, so... Debating. Do I... Because he's helping. What if I put him to first? I'm just thinking about it. I wish it would actually, like... You know what? Idea. It should tell you, like, what they're targeting. Like, if you hover over them. I think that'd be a cool thing. That did make a difference. So if I put this guy back to first. Okay. Okay. I'm hoping this will do something. It's so close. What if I do that? And then add another one. Maybe that'll help? That was a lot closer. I could also just... Maybe that'll help? This is literally me doing trial and error. That did worse. Okay. Maybe two of those? Oh my god, that actually worked. I didn't think that would actually work. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is helping. Get another Moab Shredder with this one. That might actually help. Dink, 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 dink. Bum, ba-da-dum. Bum, 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 ba-da-dum. Ba-da-dum, ba-dum. We did it! Oh, thank God. 400. Alchemist. Oh, we did it. Okay. Now let's work on the spa pits thing. And we're going to try and do Nod win as well. Because I'm feeling crazy. Oh, wait. I need to turn off my monkey knowledge. There we go. There's a reason I'm bringing Ben into this. Brum, 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 brum. Bum, bum. Okay. We're using the subs to our advantage here. I'm going to want to get at least 3 subs in. But I also want to get Ben in once we get that. Because Benjamin has an ability that's very useful for round 40. He was the hero I ended up choosing because money making does not matter in this as much. So we'll get an extra bit of money as well. We'll be knocked down to like 70 something. And actually, I'm going to want to turn off auto start here because then I can actually prepare more. And then I'm going to want to put another sub here. Because that secondary sub is going to save us a lot of, well, pain. But since regenning lives isn't against the not I'd win rules, that's the other reason I brought Benjamin. So now we go for Benjamin. Like, I already got some ideas of what I'm going to do. Because the sooner we get Benjamin down, the easier it's going to be for us. Like, eventually I'm going to want to get a sniper as well. Actually, I'm gonna probably want to get up to 3 snipers by the end of this. Because I'm going to need a Moab one. And then I'm also going to just need a, well, cash drop one because the elite ability is nice. Because the elite sniper is good. Come on. Oh, come on. That was annoying. Come on, I just need Ben. Once we can get Benjamin, that's a huge thing taken. I could put Benjamin anywhere, but I want to make sure he gets that Moab ace map. Because the reason I want him for round 40 is his ability to do that one hack. Because then it won't spawn ceramics out of it. So instead of having to kill all the ceramics in this with the Moab, it'll just be the Moab. Because this is where the Moab spawns, so I'll put him near there. But now I can start upgrading if I want. And that's actually what I want. Longer range. Then I'm going to want twin guns, air burst. I'm gonna want a sniper. 2 of them, actually. Okay, so gonna want one here. Strong. And I'm gonna want to get full metal jacket because we're coming up on leads. And camo. Boom. Okay. Yeah, I spent way too long like trying to figure this stuff out. Okay. What do I want to get first? Do I want to get night vision goggles or twin guns? The choice. Because this is the choice that will make or break. You know what? Crazy, I know. I'm gonna get this. Then I will work on getting twin guns for this. Boom. That should make a big difference. And then I'll also get airburst darts. Because the 2 snipers are gonna help a lot. Because I'm also gonna want to get metal jacket on this. And I'll need to get camo on one of them. I don't know which one yet, but right now I am worried about getting that air burst dart. And then triple guns. Because I need air burst first, then I need advanced intel. Then I want triple guns. And then before I get camo detection on both, on any of them actually, I already know what I'm gonna want. I'm just going through like every single bit. And I know I did this a little bit out of order of how I would probably have wanted to do it, but meh. I want this first. Because that's 2. And then I want triple guns. After I get advanced intel. Because advanced intel is just good. And then after I get triple guns, I'm gonna get an alchemist for this guy. For several reasons. But I want to make sure it doesn't hit anything else as well. So, yeah. I don't see what keeps getting passed. Triple guns. Because now we're restoring lives thanks to Ben. I just wish things, like, would have lasted a little longer, but sometimes you just aren't lucky with your shots. You know, I probably could have lowered these 2 a bit more. Yep. That was probably my biggest issue, was I didn't lower those 2 enough. If I lowered them a little bit more, I think it would have done better. Because looking at it again, I probably want them in a more triangular shape, yes, but I don't want them that close. Because that was like the biggest issue, it seems, because they weren't getting enough to hit these bottom ones. And then we'll be able to get Ben by like round 12, 13 area. I believe it was. I'm going to try a little bit of difference with some of this. Because after we get Ben, then I want to get the snipers again. Except I'm going to buy both of them at once this time. And make sure that they're both, like, set to the right thing. Because they're both going to need to be strong. That's obvious enough. Nice. I'm hoping those will be good spots for those two. Because I know no matter what, I'm gonna lose out on a lot. Because then after I get the snipers, I'm gonna focus on the sub again, I think. Until I get my double guns airbursts. Unless necessary. I think that should probably be the best way to go about it. I might be able to get advanced intel, actually. The question is, do I want to go for twin guns or advanced intel first? Because advanced intel also does help in other ways. Boop, 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 boop. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do advanced intel. Okay, we'll be able to get Benjamin this round. Put him there. And then I'm going to get my snipers down. Because once Ben starts regenning lives for us, as long as we can stay alive, that should help a lot. I want a sniper here. Set to strong. And then I want another one set to strong as well. I also keep forgetting that like speed up also does negatively affect me in some ways too. Because that's another one of the issues. Because I know by like the late 20s to late to mid 20s, I should have everything I need to at least get ready to be getting the triple guns at least. Though I might be wrong, because I'm also not, because I think that's with the full metal jacket, but I might be a little off. Because I'm also counting a bit of Ben's generation here. And I know I'm going to want to worry about the biohack as well. Let's get this first. Because the snipers might actually provide a little more range here. Because that little bit of extra range from the snipers might be what I need. Twin guns. Okay. And then airburst is next. That is not cool. No, it wasn't, Ben. It was not good. Okay. I know he says it been jammin' when in this version. So it's like, I know that's probably how it's supposed to be said for this one specifically. But Benjamin just feels so much easier to say in a lot of ways. Okay, airburst. Who the fuck is texting me? Sorry, got completely distracted there. Okay. And then I might end up needing the biohack ability, aka his first one. Depending. Okay, and then I want a full metal jacket on this one, just because it's going to take care with leads. Because if it was just one and it was the full map, that would take care of leads easy, no problem. But big ass but in this case, I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, because we can't pop that. Oh, come on. Okay, we should get triple guns soon. And then after we get triple guns, I want to go for that alchemist. Because that alchemist is going to help a lot. Triple guns. If it lets me. There we go. Then I want to get the alchemist down. Alchemist needs to be, well, top half. That's the plan. Okay. I want to make sure it can only hit this one for sure. Because I'm going to want a Berserker Brew at least. I don't know if I'll get it up to the tier 4 or not. Because a Berserker Brew should be enough. We'll just have to see. But after I get that, I'm also going to want something for some excess damage. This is the one I never, like, figured out. I just kind of, like, was like, I'll just, I don't know. But yeah, I also am gonna need to get something for camos. Probably gonna do this one. But first I want to get Berserker Brew. Because another thing, actually, you know what? I'm still gonna get this as camo, but so I don't have to get both as camo. One of the things I could use is a ship. Because it does get a lot of range. Because the last time I just used a plane and it was like really RNG heavy. So this actually might solve that issue quite a bit. Okay, do that. And then let's get a boat. There we go. Because I'm making sure we can beat this. Because if we get the knot, I'd win. That'd be awesome for this. Just like, yeah, I won. Plus, it's a fun achievement to get. I like the fact that it's an achievement. Though I am worried. There is one round that does worry me before 40. It's 36. Because that's the 3 waves of pinks. Because I'm just looking at it. We're getting really close to that. And if we're going to take that out, we're going to have to be very careful. I'm going to get Hot Shot first, I think. Before I, like, get it on this guy for camo, but... Because the third wave of pinks is the worst. But I have some ideas. Once I get Hot Shot, then I will get this guy, Cannon Ship. Because I want to get night vision goggles on this guy so that I at least have like that extra bit for like camo leads early. Yes, this guy can too, but this is also because deals extra damage to camos. So it should do quite a bit. I'm keeping my eye on the round number. Okay. 970. And then let's start this guy going. And we'll do the same upgrade path tactic that we did for the last one, where it's advanced intel and then twin guns, air burst, etc. Then we will add an alchemist to him. And I'm gonna want to keep an eye on... Okay. Okay. Wave 1. As soon as wave 3 comes out, I'm gonna use biohack. Wave 2. And then... wave 3. Because that extra attack speed. Okay. Air burst. And that's why I got air burst for that. Bum, 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 bum. You know, there's actually some really cool mods for balloons out there that I've actually looked at possibly playing in the future because they just look interesting as hell. I know for round 40, we should be good as long as I'm careful. But after that, we need to get, like, huge upgrades. I don't want this to hit the pirate. Because, yeah, these should take it out with Ben's ability. And then I'm probably going to want to go for an elite defender, I think. Because I think an elite defender would actually be good. I just don't know if I'll go for it instantly. I'm definitely going to want to get a sniper for it because I want it to be... because my 2 snipers I have right now are not elite defender material. And that's just the sad truth. Whether they like it or not. Because they don't have the faster attacks. But if I'm going to do that... you know what? I know what I'll do for it. I'm going to get a monkey village to make it cheaper. And then what I could do is maybe make this one something else. I mean, I could make this guy an elite defender, but I'm debating going for top path with this as well. And if I do end up going top path for this, for the jungle drums, because that jungle drums can make a difference. But if I can do that, it might help. Because jungle drums is just good. Let's quickly get the elite defender sniper down because I know one thing I'm going to want for this guy. I am going to want to give him an alchemist. But will he have it the full time? No, he won't. But even just for those bits that he will, that's going to make a damn difference. And then once I get the alchemist, then I'll probably, because I'm just thinking about it, an alchemist for this guy would be good. And I know I'm inevitably going to have to get an alchemist for this guy, but no matter what, it's going to hit others. So I'll just have to, like, deal. But, you know, I also could use it to get an elite sniper. But no. I already know what I want and what I need. What I want is not the same as what I need for this. Well, not completely. I just know that I want a few snipers. And I know that I'm going to need a few snipers. Once this is full auto, I'm more comfortable getting this guy a alchemist. And then once I get an elite sniper, okay, I'm curious because I know this is something that, like, I'm not the only one who does. I wonder how many people also do it where when they get an elite sniper, they change it from elite usually to first because of the bouncing bullet effect. Because I know that is one of the things I do. do. Sorry, that was childish. But it's kind of like after that, like I try to set it to first usually because then it's gonna get more effectiveness out of its bouncing bullet. This guy I'm probably gonna turn into a maim Moab or cripple Moab if I can get enough, but I don't know if I'll get enough for a cripple Moab off the bat. Okay. I think you can see why I chose Benjamin now. Because it is making this so much easier. Benjamin's abilities are so nice. I know on one of these rounds I might need to use an ability from Ben. Okay, let's put him there. I mean, I don't really care too much about giving him the boost of the village, because is he actually going to get it? No. Not without hitting one of the other snipers. And that one's on me, but... Okay. Yeah, no, that's not going to hit him. Yes, we're going to use up a bit more money, but that's okay to me. Because we're going to need to use the sniper ability. Okay. Then I'll get jungle drums. I'm just debating if we'll need the second ability of Ben. Because it's like... Yeah. Because the second ability of Ben does make certain things a lot easier because it downgrades balloons. Okay. Let's save up for Elite Defender. God, that made me, like, so damn nervous. You feel bad for your cat? Why so? If you don't mind me asking. I know, my doggos have been their own form of chaos recently. It is nice out today, and if I have some time, before work or after work, I might take Baker for a WALK. Because I know if I say the actual word, all of them are going to go crazy downstairs. And I don't want that for my roommates. That would not be good. Okay. Okay. God, we keep getting some of the same thing. I know it's on shuffle and I don't have every track in this game, but damn. I wonder what the chances are that we rolled that so many times so far. Because I know it's not just, like, certain things. It's, like, any of the possible stuff. Okay. Move, Bloon! balloons, get out the way. Okay, so by 55, we should have Elite Defender. Or at least by the end of 55. I will say, one thing that sucks about being allergic to cats is the fact that, like, I have friends who have cats, but it means I always have to take so many allergy meds before going so I don't, like, suffocate. I mean, the worst that happens is, like, my eyes itching. I've gotten a lot more used to it, so it doesn't affect me as bad, but still. Recently, I tried to see a way find make her less scared, or when trying to pick her up because friend's dog came over, she panicked. Bad history. Interesting. I mean, that's fair. I know, like, with one of my dogs, Faith, it was, when I was young, we used to have a dog named Faith. She lived a long-ass life. We need to start from the beginning. I wasn't paying enough attention. Oh, shoot. But, Faith was a great dog. I really did love her. She was interesting. She had her own, like, way of doing things, but she lived to about 15, but she had severe trauma with, like, men. But my dad and I were the only ones she, like, truly could trust in any form. And even then, she trusted me more than my dad for several reasons. Like, the fact that she watched me as a baby, which definitely helped in that regard. But because she was a stray that we adopted from our shelter. And it's like, I saw a lot of what she went through. She got cancer several times, but she never truly got over her shakiness when, like, a lot of men were around and stuff. Because one of the things that she had, even on her deathbed, was she had scars around her neck because when they found her, whoever had basically let her go had tied barbed wire around her neck. And it's like, what the like, the thought of someone being that, like, awful to anyone, much less a dog who, like, was a puppy at the time, just who. Okay, next round. Did my internet do its thing again? God damn it. Sorry about that. I noticed it, like, partway through. I know very well that I get annoyed with my internet still. I just hope they fix it soon. Didn't realize how scared she was because if you walked near her, she just froze. That is understandable. Like, a lot of people forget that it's fight, flight, or freeze. Not fight or flight only. Fight or flight or freeze. Those are the three reactions that can happen. I know, like, every creature, every person, like, has different reactions to their own traumas. Like, one person does not share the same reaction to their trauma as the next. You could have two people who share the same trauma, different reactions. I.e., if I put into one thing, like, let's say two people are robbed in the same house and, like, held at gunpoint. They both will have different reactions to the same event than each other despite being the same event, same time frame. It's just because they're different people. And it makes a difference. Because this was a big thing we talked about in psychology classes. Despite some people going through the same event, it can be radically different experiences depending on age, gender, what they've dealt with before, like, and just their personality. Like, there's so many things that affect it, and it's actually really interesting. And there's a whole thing that I could go into about that. I could literally go to because I actually have my psychology textbook because I bought it, and it's like, I'm not going to give it back to school if I bought it with my money. I didn't rent it. I actually bought it. But it's like, I could totally pull that out and just go over some of the pages and whatnot. New stream idea. Psychology class. Just textbook psychology 101. Oh boy. Jokes aside, though, I think it would be fun. But I know, like, I used to feel really bad for, like, my dog Faith all the time. Because she was always jumpy and whatnot. And I still feel bad when Dewey's jumpy because Dewey gets scared of the smallest things sometimes. Like, he's a big lug. I love him to death, but he gets scared of so many things unintentionally. Like, he's scared of pillows because we accidentally dropped one near him when he was a puppy, and it scared the living hell out of him. Now he's scared of pillows. I think that puts into perspective the type of weird shit that Dewey's scared of. But with Faith, it was like a bunch of stuff. And we had Brownie at the time, before she passed, because we had to have her euthanized because she severely injured her hip. And she was a German Shepherd. Like, Faith was a German Shepherd Malamute mix. The two of them were inseparable. Faith lived many years on after, surviving cancer 3 times. Faith was 15, 16 type area. She was almost 16 at least. I know that. But we had to put Faith down because she could not control her own body anymore. Like, she couldn't control her bladder, etc. She just did not want to let go. And it's like, we weren't going to just let her stay there suffering when the cancer was coming back again. She couldn't control her own body for most of the thing and was having trouble walking most days. It's like, we're not just going to let her suffer through that type thing. And it sucked because it's like, that's not something you want to have to do. But sometimes it's like, yeah, I remember that day very well. Because at that point, we had gotten a Malamute named Shadow. He was a great dog, lived a long life with us, but we adopted him from a family whose baby turned out to be severely allergic to dogs from what they found through screenings, and they had to basically get rid of their dog, so we adopted Shadow. Loved to howl, as all Malamutes do, but it was a sad day. Because, like, I really did love Faith, and we had Shadow at that point, and he was there for us. You know, there was something Shadow used to do for years, because after Shadow passed, we didn't really get a dog for a long time. Mainly because a lot happened. And it was just like, Shadow lasted a long time himself. But I remember, like, the full thing and why we did certain things. And it's a shame. But I get why we didn't have another dog after Shadow for a long time. Grammy had her dog. Baker is now like several years old because at the time she had Casey and Skylar had already passed. Bailey had already passed because of his hip injury. She had still had Wishbone at the time. Great doggo. But there's a really like screwed up story behind what happened with Wishbone. And yeah. That's a whole debacle that is like, oh boy. Then like my Grammy went on like fostering some dogs for a while after Wishbone's passing. We tried it too, but it never really worked out. For a long ass time. Eventually life moved on, etc. I moved to where I am now and whatnot after a bit. And we have Athena. Because, yeah. Athena's a great dog. Love her to death, but I remember, because we got her from a breeder, that my parents recommended. Because my mom was searching at the time, just like, we don't know where to search, so we'll do this. And this took a long time. By that point, my Grammy had gotten Baker. And there is a story behind getting Baker, because have you ever gone to what we like to call the shady part of the airport? Basically, where you pick up like cargo and stuff. We had to pick up Baker from the airport. Honest to God, I don't know how else to explain this other than the exact conversation. Guy turns to my Grammy. So what are you here to pick up? My dog. Oh, nice. I'm picking up horse semen. Just like, what? Oh, yeah. Like a couple gallons of horse sperm. It's like, how do you... how does one react to that in a normal manner? Like, there's a time and place, but sometimes you don't expect what's gonna happen with that time and place. It was one hell of an experience. Sometimes I do wonder whatever happened to that guy. Because my best guess is it was probably for like racehorses and stuff, but it does make me wonder what happened to that guy. I know when we got Athena, she ended up getting worms and that sucked, but she used to have like this floppy ear for the longest time, and even now, like years later, sometimes when she's like tired and doesn't care, like that same ear will sometimes flop, and it's so cute. It's like the cutest fucking thing. And it makes me really excited for like, oh my gosh, whenever I see it. Because it's like, oh my gosh. Because it's cute seeing that little part of your dog that still lingers here and there. Eventually, before my Grammy passed, I was planning on getting a dog and stuff and looking at dogs, and we found a rescue, and there was a dog that was pregnant. And basically this rescue took in dogs that normally weren't taken in by like shelters. So like blind, deaf dogs and whatnot. And if you look in your areas, you probably can find a few, like one or two of them. Like I had to drive quite a ways out for it, but basically the pregnant dog was an Aussie Shepherd that had given birth to a litter of puppies. And so we took Athena with us when meeting little Dewey. And from what was mentioned after we left, he just went to the end of the driveway and just looked sad for like a good 20 minutes before zonking out again. Because Athena like instantly was like attached. Like it was one of those things of, oh yeah, it's obvious that these two are gonna get along. That's wave 2. But I remember it very well when we first got him, because so we have this stool that it's a stool, normal stool stuff, but it's like an ottoman and a stool combined. It can be used for both. It has like a oh shit, I just realized this whole time I completely forgot to get the pirate ship. I can't believe we forgot the pirate ship. Other cats trying to comfort Luna. Aw. I will say, it is so adorable when animals will, like, try and comfort other ones. Like, I know, when Dewey first got here, Athena would spend so much time comforting Dewey and whatnot. And there's some cute pictures I have. I'd need to go and find them. Of, Dewey and Athena cuddling. Oh my god, it is the sweetest thing. So fucking cute. But it is adorable as hell. If I put this here, I can work on getting monkey business down. But, oh my gosh. God, I'm having so many memories pop back into my brain. Oh, memories. So it was until Dewey got old enough that basically under that ottoman type thing, he just face planted right into it, and it was hilarious because he looked at it like, wait, what? When did this thing get so big? Like, when did this thing get so small, actually? And he has the same smile he used to do as he does now, where it's like, eh? Whenever he does the smile, and it is so adorable and funny. Because it's that same, like, type smile, and it's, oh my god, it never fails to give me a little giggle. Because it's like and then, oh my god, Athena gives the nastiest side eye. Oh my god. Like, she has so much, like, drama and side eye in that little German Shepherd body of hers. Fun fact about Athena, she was the runt of her litter, but goddamn is she smart. She used to climb trees. Then we got Dewey and she stopped doing it as much, and then eventually stopped overall. because she had someone to play with. Basically, if she got bored and wanted to play with someone, she'd literally escape the yard by climbing trees. For all we know, she's just biding her time until she can teach Dewey. Next thing we know, local German Shepherd climbing trees. Breaks other dogs out of their yards. Honestly, the crazy part is I could totally see her doing something like that. All three of the dogs are just way too smart for their own good. Like, way too smart for their own good. Like, and then don't get me started on how Dewey, like, will stand in the rose garden sometimes and get yelled at and then be like, I'm not touching it, with his paw, just like looking like hovering over. Like, he purposefully does that. He chooses to be an ass. And you know what? Credit where credit's due. But I still love him to death. I love all my doggos. I know once my Grammy passed away, it was around the time we had actually gotten Dewey, because we were about to get him and then Grammy passed away. I took basically one of her last wishes to me was to take care of Baker. So I did. So I got stuck with 3 doggos. Do I hate it? No. I actually love all 3 of them. Is it a pain in the ass to feed them sometimes? Yes. Because I've had to train Athena that if she throws her bowl across the room, she will not get to eat first by basically putting her outside and just letting the other 2 eat. And then once she's realized that she can't throw it, then she's allowed to eat. So she no longer throws her bowl anymore across the floor. It's a metal bowl. But she would throw it across the damn kitchen. And it's like, really? Really, drama queen? We're doing this now? Because that's basically what it was like. Love my doggos to death, but God, is Athena a drama queen. And I mean drama queen. Yeesh. She did all sorts of dumb stuff. Just because she could. Not because she needed to. Just because she could. She finds it fun to screw with us. I don't know why she does, but she does. And it is, in fact, quite annoying. Okay. I'm hoping to get Elite Defender soon, because that's going to save us so much. Just bum 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 ba da ba da 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 da. Oh, there goes the Moab. Okay. I need to get Elite Defender Ace map. Because I should be able to get it before 55 now. Because that extra bit of saving does matter, it seems. I'm just thinking of other weird, like... Oh, here's another story that was really weird. So here's me, my mom, my sister. We're baking Christmas cookies. Because that's a tradition we do every year. We bake Christmas cookies. We hand roll them, hand cut cut them, all that jazz. We put in the first batch, and we are waiting, and then we hear something in the oven. We open up the oven, and inside the oven is a charred, and I mean charred, waffle. Do I know where it came from? No. But it was there. And it caught me so off guard. It caught all of us off guard, because it's like, where the hell did this come from? Because we had no clue. For all we know, it could have fallen from the fucking heavens. Like, we had no clue. Alls I know is it was weird as hell. And it was like, oh my god. I just need to remember this time that after I get the first alchemist and whatnot, I do need to get that boat. I need to remember that this time. There we go. Now we go for Benjamin. And I'm gonna want to keep this on normal speed. Preferably. But, yeah. Yeah, this is just gonna be a pain in the ass of a set of rounds. Because, yeah, I'm gonna want to get the sniper upgraded. And I'm gonna want to have to get bigger radius. And did I ever end up getting jungle drums? So I'm gonna have to get bigger radius and jungle drums, most likely. Because that's probably why we lost the first time. Oh my god. It was the jungle drum. I don't think I ever bought jungle drums. I was thinking in my brain over... I have an entire, like, thing written out on Google Docs. And if it weren't for the fact that it uses my personal email, and I know how Google is, I would show it off right now. Because I have an order of how I wanted to upgrade things. I have sub and Dart Monkey, 2 subs, Benjamin, upgrade the top sub. God, it... Psh. Just me over here like, well, I'm gonna forgo this. This is what I mean when I say I miss stuff all the time. Your friend keeps recommending you this game called Ultra Kill for some reason. It's a bit skeptical because previous 2 games he recommended basically like, are you serious right now, bro? That's understandable. I've never played it. I've heard of it, but I've never played it, so I can't really say for sure. But there's a lot of games that I've heard are good, and then they just end up not being. I know I'm excited for D&D tomorrow because I finally get to use my new dice bag because I have this really nice dice thing. And it comes with its own dice tray built in. So I don't have to, like, take it out, button it all back up, and whatnot. So after stream tomorrow, instead of work, I have D&D. But I know for me, I definitely am like, well, that was a mistake. Let's get Benjamin here. Just so we can actually hit the track. Because I realized I also didn't put him close enough to hit track. Because this is one of those maps where, like, it matters a lot where you place stuff because of the map as a whole. Like, yes, I could put the one sniper here, but I want it over here so it can hit into these. You get me? Strong. But, like, I will say, tomorrow I am planning on doing a random game, and I'm really excited. One of these days I want to do a stream where instead of my normal stuff, I do, like, a few smaller, like, shorter games. Because there's a few out there that just look really fun to play, that would be fun as a short game. Saw the gameplay of the highest difficulty for Ultra Kill Brain basically saying, oh, hell not, take a damn chill pill. It's a bit too fast-paced for you. That's fair. Like, everyone has their own, like, game type that they prefer more. For me, I like strategy games and tower defense games, but I also like story-driven games. Like, I really like games like Split Fiction and whatnot, because I find them interesting games. I like games with story, not just games that are hard to be hard. Of course, there are some that don't fit that mold, but I also like cozy games and like sandbox games where I get to strategize and whatnot. I find that stuff interesting. Doesn't mean everyone does? No, of course not. But for me, I do. Doesn't make it a bad thing. I'm praying I don't need to restart this. Okay, hards. I'm checking this real quick. Okay, hard standard, no continues, no powers, no monkey knowledge. Nothing about, like, no continues, but nothing about, like, escape. Well, if I don't get it, then that was the reason. But yeah. Tell you a steal area is based on what type of game I'd like to play if I told you. Fair. I mean, I would say for me, like, my Steam library is very, like, mixed. Like, I have a lot of, like, party games as well. Like, if I could get a group of friends together for Ultimate Chicken Horse, that would be awesome. Because I love great games. But I just need to get friends together that would play that with me. That's another game I'd love to. Another one is like Move or Die. That'd be a fun one. Shell Shock. Though I'd have to turn off the chat. Like the chat feature, just because it's like, I don't trust people on the internet like that. People on the internet would do all sorts of shit for the lulz if they knew. Plus, I know I'm not the best at Shell Shock anyway, but even then, it's still fun. Like, am I good enough to get God Rays? Yes. But I am so rusty at this point, I doubt I still am. Like, I did beat a level 100 that had God Rays. Was it easy? God, no. And the fact that I even did that in the first place is still insane to me. I still am like, how the hell did I manage that? Laptop is smaller. Gmod, Terraria, Tmod Loader, Repo, Risk of Rain, BTD6. From the sounds of it, it sounds like you like, not only, freedom in games, but also, like, tower defenses and strategy-based games. So, like, strategy games and, like, games that have a lot of freedom is kind of what I can get from that. I haven't bought Repo, but I've been told to buy it to play with some people, but it's also like, I'm never up at those times. But I definitely have looked at it. Definitely something on my list. One of these days. Like, I have so many games I haven't touched on my Steam as well that I got from, like, deals that basically made it cheaper for a game that I was buying. I.e., like, when I was buying, like, some party games, that's how I got stuff like Move or Die, Ultimate Chicken Horse, and frickin' Goose Game, I believe it is, or Duck Game, something like that. I can actually check right now. Duck Game. But I also have stuff like Golf with Your Friends, FPS Chess. Left 4 Dead 2 would be a fun one if I can get my friend Nate on here. Perfect Heist is another one that would be fun if I could get some friends together for it. Town of Salem 1 and 2 are a bit risky just because of how, like, Town of Salem plays. I could play it on stream, but I'd have to be worried about, like, snipers. Because, yeah. And I would probably have to end up, like, covering the names. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, I know my character would cover up most of the names on the side, but if need be, I can always put something behind my character for that. But I would also need to put something, like, you see where my mouse is, like, up here? I'd need to put something, like, up there. And I'd need to basically, like, make sure you don't see what names I put in as well. Just because then it would be like, oh, crap. Like, even then, there's just so much I'd have to, like, cover. It's like, would it be worth it? I mean, even then, down by where, like, the sell button is, there's a chat box, and that's kind of a huge part of Town of Salem, and it's like, that would show my name off the bat. So, same thing for Town of Salem, too. They both have vastly different strategies involved, though. You tried Repo for an hour, regretted the $10 purchase, but not trying to discourage you from buying it. Fair. I mean, everyone has their own games they like. I mean, for me, it's like, if I were to play Repo, I'd want to be able to play it with my friends. Like, a lot of the games I want to play are, I always put stuff on my wish list of that I'm looking at or plan to play that I don't have. Like, one that I've heard is good as Hat in Time. That's on my wish list of eventually I might get it type game when it goes on sale. I usually wait for things to go on sale because it's like, well, that's a lot easier. But I also have some games that's like, I have, but I never would play anymore. I just realized I forgot the damn Monkey Buccaneer again. do this all the time. Got to do the Steam refund thing, so it's just there now. Fair. I've heard repo is more fun with friends, though, so it's like, fair. I mean, even then, like, there's games that I've heard would be fun that I've never liked. Like, I'm not a fan of first-person shooters. Like, I'm just not a shooter type person. Of course, there's still exceptions, because there's games that can break the mold and that. Like, something that is considered an FPS by some, but I would not consider an FPS, is Slime Rancher. And the only reason I haven't played Slime Rancher 2, despite it being on my, like, Steam, is because I'm waiting for it to come out of early access before I play it, preferably. But I might even, because it's like, I'd love to play it on stream, but it's also, do I want to risk the early access thing? Another game I could play is like Thronefall, Just King. Like, there's so many games I could switch between. I know there's a game that's like, everything is drawn by like the person's daughter that's supposed to come out, and it looks adorable, and it's like, I would want to play that on stream, mainly because I want to see not only how cute it is, but I think it would be cool to play something like that, even if it's like a after I finish it, because it's only like an hour at most from what they said in the description, and it comes out like September. But it was like, I think that'd be a fun little thing to do, as like a day where I do like random and like short indie games. I think that would be a fun way to do it. Because if we just did a stream of like a bunch of shorter indie games, might be fun. Because like I do have a few. I also have some visual novels on my Steam, but it's like some of them I just got because I was like, I'll look at it. Others I was gifted, and others were just like, I'll play this. Didn't end up playing. It's just one of those things. Like, I know one thing that does annoy me, though, is, like, Steam does not accurately, like, keep count of all of my games, either. Like, it says I have less games than I actually do on my Steam, but it also says I have less perfected games than I actually have. Like, Steam is weird. Also gotta be extra careful with Steam for a reason. That's understandable. I mean, everyone has to be careful with certain things for one reason or another. I know for me especially, it's like, I want to get better at epilepsy. That's fair. Yeah, whenever I know for a fact a game has epilepsy, I always try to put that in the title. If I know that there's going to be an epilepsy thing, I always will put that in the title and whatnot. Because I know I can at least do that for people. It's the most I know about, unless there is like a warning I can put, but I don't think there's a specific one to epilepsy, but one might get added. I just know that I like keep an eye out for that stuff, because it's like, I know what it's like for people to go through that, because I've had people in my life go through it, so I've learned a bit about it. Kind of broke it with Risk of Rain 2. Fair. I mean, there's some games that people just are like, you know what, fuck it, when it comes to it. And honestly, I understand why. There's some good games out there that I can see why you would want to break that. Like, Binding of Isaac does not need an epilepsy warning unless you get such a broken run that it's like, oh god. But even then, the chance of that is so small. I never really care to put an epilepsy warning for Binding of Isaac, because it's like, what's the chance that we're gonna get a Lachrifigi Brimstone Play-Doh cookie with Trisagion and whatnot? Like, practically zero. Like, and that's kind of why I'm like, with certain games, it's like, I can always avoid it if necessary. Like, and if it comes to it, I will just put temporary epilepsy warnings. Yeah, it's like, with a lot of those roguelikes, with that, it's very like, if you get a like run that is so ungodly powerful, but it is like 1 in a million, and that can happen with almost any roguelike. I will say there was a tower defense roguelike that was recommended to me on my Steam, and it was really interesting. Also, I was looking through strategy games and whatnot because I like looking through strategy games, and me going through the list, because I like to go through the list and look at like strategy games. A few catch my eye, I check them, look at their rating and whatnot, like, is it positively rated, negatively, etc. And there's actually a few games that look interesting to me that I'd love to play. Same thing with like story-based ones. I know, like, I could probably open up my Steam and like mention some of them. I know another roguelike that I've actually thought about getting is Dungeon Claw. It's a dungeon crawler claw game roguelike. Risk of Rain 2 doesn't have an epilepsy warning, you believe? I mean, if it's only like with God run type things where it's like you wouldn't normally see it, it usually is passed over in a lot of cases because they don't realize or don't notice. Like, that's a pretty normal, in a way, type thing. Whether or not it's a good thing is up to you, though. I need to remember to get Jungle Drums, but first I need to get Berserker Brew. But there's a lot of games out there that have that type of thing. Like, technically you could say that about Balloons Tower Defense if you get into the really late rounds with like the VTSG, etc. But by that time, now that they've added stuff for it, you can turn accessibility down. And like, there's a lot of games that have stuff like that that could be considered under that. Yeah, like, and part of that, the reason you see it on YouTube so much is because it makes a good thumbnail and it makes a good video. Like, oh my god, I broke this game. Because, yeah, that's something that is more common to see on YouTube because it algorithm-like. Algorithm-like. And that's just the sad truth of it. Sometimes it just be, algorithm find this good? Cool. And you can't do much about it after that. I've been meaning to black border this, but I just haven't had enough time for it. I will say, one of the funniest things I did this week is, I had a bit of time on Tuesday before work. So what I did is I went into Minecraft and I grabbed a piglich and a soul jar, made it into a spawner, made a powered spawner out of it. And then from that powered spawner, I replaced the spawner in the spawner area with a piglich, set up an auto clicker and just some stream in the background so that it just auto killed pigliches while I worked. So now we have a self-aware data module of the pig glitch because of that, because I just put that in the background for the entire day. IRS, not just on YouTube. A bunch of Steam reviews mention how headache it gives people, and there's no epilepsy or safe mode or something. Seems a bit better. It's. Yeah, I definitely think that games like that should do that. Like, Binding of Isaac does have, like... Oops, sorry. Bumped my mic. But Binding of Isaac, I believe, does have, like, some of those warnings. I know it has the mature content rating for obvious reasons. It's the Binding of Isaac. I mean, literally, you can't get more grotesque than some of the stuff in that game. Yes, let me shoot this fetus as a weapon. 'Cause logic. The Binding of Isaac is such a fucked up but good game. I really like The Binding of Isaac. I think it's a fun game. But of course, not everyone else agrees with me on that. Because it's an acquired taste. But, I remember really early on, like, when it was a Flash game, it didn't really have that issue. But as things got different, etc., like, I don't know if it has an epilepsy warning anymore, but it might. It might not. I don't know if it ever got one or not. But I know that was something that was debated for a while. I will say one of the things that does make me excited is the fact that when asked on Blue Sky, Edmund said, "Oh yeah, I'd love to do a collaboration with Terraria." So, like, Terraria Binding of Isaac? What killed me? I really don't know what did. I'm debating if I do this one off stream just so I like can like focus on it without talking as much, so I make doubly sure. Either way, let's just take out a bunch of like the early stuff for Black Border. 'Cause we can. But like balloons technically you could put under that, but even then, there's a bunch of games you could put under that. And it's like, I'll check Binding of Isaac right now, actually. Let's see. Binding of Isaac. Roguelike, indie. Do. Yeah, it has a mature content description, but nothing about epilepsy. I mean, fair. I mean, there's a lot of games, though, that technically fit into that. Crossbow. But, you know, there is a game I 100%ed off stream for the lulz. It was called Beat Around the Bush, and it was such a weird game. Reason why you like Risk of Rain 2, you can take a boss like Voiding that has over 4 million HP on highest difficulty and at the highest enemy level. You believe the right items, play the character named Loader, boom, one shot dead. I mean, Isaac has a bit of that, except it doesn't matter which character usually. But yeah, I know, like, it just depends with some games. I know there's some games broken beyond belief with some of the stuff you can get. I think one of the reasons I really like Binding of Isaac's balancing is there's really fun synergies that come with the Binding of Isaac. Like, one of my favorites, for example, being literal C-section mom's knife or C-section spirit sword, because one of them gives the babies a bunch of knives. The other one makes the babies, like, do spin attacks with swords in their hands. And like it is so damn funny. Just because if you get like tech, one of the technologies, um the baby with the sword gets a lightsaber when it does the spin attack, so it's just a bunch of lightsaber babies, and it's hilarious. Like there's some really funny ones out there. I know there's so many good synergies I'd love to do on stream for the Binding of Isaac if we ever got the chance to do those synergies. Oh, they're so fun. One of my favorite synergies is Eraser plus Bethany, because you can basically erase anything if you deal enough damage and whatnot, depending on what the enemy is. So you can basically just walk through entire, like, floors, like, doo-doo-doo, not an issue in the world, and just deal with the boss. Easy as pie. And, like, if there's a new thing, Soul Heart, and boom, dead. Simple as that. It's honestly hilarious. Like, I find that stuff so damn hilarious, because it's like, insert these terrifying, like, enemies. Like, oh no, they're gonna absolutely destroy me. Bethany just gone. Tell you 3 randomized for Risk of Rain 2 with the description. You rate it 1 to 10. How balanced do you think it is? Okay. I mean, I make a lot of items for D&D, so I definitely have at least some input when it comes to, like, balancing. That lead balloon is backwards. What? Why was that lead balloon, like, staring at the ground instead? Just the normal lead balloon, like, ah, yes, the ground here is made of ground. But, I will say, I do hope that my group tomorrow does go for the treasure hoard, because it's a big treasure hoard. I'm talking Supreme Healing Potion, 2 spell scrolls of a 1st and 3rd level, and almost 2,000 gold. I rolled way too well on the coins. And that's not counting the mysterious disc that's going to link to the Great Crater and whatnot, which will also give them access to Biosteel, which is a cool thing, but it's going to react to the oh my god, to the Terracle Prism Quartz, as its full name is. And depending where you are in the world, the Terracle Prism Quartz is called Terrastellane, Terra Quartz, Arcane Quartz, Prism Quartz, or by its full name by researchers. And I think it's a really fun little detail. Soldier Strand increased attack speed by 15%, plus 15% per stack. Okay. I would say that's pretty middle of the road for a roguelike. Like, okay, that is a normal attack speed up. 15%, not bad, not the best, not the worst. Really good nonetheless. No negatives. Allows it to stack, though depending on the game, stacking is not as common. Let's take it in Isaac, for example. Only can get one of that item unless you get certain items that allow you to double it, etc. Honestly, pretty good. I would say a good, like, in terms of balance, I would say about a 9 or a 10. But okay, next is deflation. And instead of Benjamin, I'm gonna go for Admiral on deck. There we go. Okay. I saw that go white. Okay. Okay, let's try and get this thing down. Okay. Then I can do that. Wait a minute, what am I doing? Then I can do that. Okay, so I don't get so lucky. Perfect. And we'll just let that do its thing. Okay, let's try a legendary tier item. Okay, so legendary tier is gonna be like top tier, pretty good item. Okay. I mean, legendary tier items are always the rarest, hardest to get. They're always the top tier item that if you're gonna get, you gotta get lucky. I know for me, it's like, it just depends which item sounds the best when it comes to legendary type items. I know I have my fair few that I really like. Like, I can think of a few depending on which game. Renaissance Disc, Resonance Disc killing 4 enemies in 7 seconds, charges a Renaissance Disc. My god, Renaissance. Oh my god. Wow. Resonance Disc. The disc launches itself towards target for 300% base damage, 300% per stack, piercing all enemies it doesn't kill. Then explodes for 1000% base damage, turns the user, striking all enemies along the way for the same. I mean, the chance of you getting a stack of that is low, but killing 4 enemies in 7 seconds, really, you would need to have strength. I would say for like a legendary item, for a rare item, I would say about a 7 or an 8 in terms of like balance, because it also depends how rare the item is, what pool it comes from, and how accessible getting a stack of it is. But seeing it's a legendary item, I'm just gonna go off the base that usually the legendary items are the rarest. They're usually like under 10% to find, usually around 5 to 1%, depending on the game. And then most don't allow you to get the same item twice without certain items, so honestly, I'd say around a 7 or an 8, though, going by that logic. Is it still brokenly powerful? Yes, but it definitely can be pretty common because the maps have chests that have a guaranteed legendary tier item in that chest. Okay, considering that, then I would say that is a lot more broken. Because if it's not every map, but seeing that they're common enough to be guaranteed on several maps, I would definitely put it like closer to 5 or like 6 in terms of balance, just because it's like well, not guaranteed, it's still like more likely than it probably should be for that type of item. But it also depends on like how many enemies spawn, how much damage you can deal, and whatnot. And I'm assuming this is like other roguelikes where there can be rooms with like good few like enemies, like way more than 4. In 7 seconds, though, is still one of those things keeping it up. Enemies won't stop spawning until you kill the boss. Okay, then yeah, I can definitely see how that can be pretty broken. Is it the most broken thing I've seen? No. But it's definitely like pretty broken. And it depends on like how their spawn time works and whatnot, because enemies have spawn times. But for example, one item I can think of that's broken in one of the games I have played, depends on difficulty. That makes sense. It usually depends on difficulty in most games. But one of the items in one of the games I have played literally makes it so you're immune to not only explosions, but you can reflect all projectiles. And you may think, okay, that doesn't sound too bad, until you realize that most enemies have projectiles. Every boss has a projectile. And the chance of reflecting the projectile is 75% chance. So there's a 3/4% chance you reflect it. And you're immune to explosions. Most of the game becomes child play with it. It's practically a free win. And it's not the most broken, but it's pretty broken in its own regard. I've also seen items that are like disgustingly broken. Like, yes, this item gives you homing, extra damage, extra health, allows you to fly. Like, what? I would say the most broken item, though, that I have seen. Let's go over this slowly. First one allows flight. Oh, wow. Cool. Flight. Not the most broken in that game, but still pretty good. Allows a lot more dodging. Gives you 50% to your attack power. Okay, that's getting a bit crazy. Buffs your minions, as I like to call them. My minions, even though they're just little pets that you can get. Okay, that's debatable. And on use, allows you to upgrade your weapon by a level at the cost of a certain amount of crystals, depending on the level. Are they actually called crystals in game? I have no clue. It just says I just see them as crystals. I don't remember the exact name of it. But upgrading a weapon can add a lot. Boss item? Okay. Boss items are usually kind of mixed depending on the game. Like, for example, Neon Abyss. Bosses usually drop a health or a gun upgrade. Binding of Isaac, it's usually a health or damage upgrade. Which, fair. Sometimes a range upgrade or a tiers upgrade. Like, okay. But it depends. I'll grab it again. Shatter Spleen. Gain 5% crit chance, crit strikes bleed enemies, dealing 140 base damage. Bleeding enemies explode on death. Front stack, plus an additional 15% per stack. The maximum of their maximum health dropped by Imp Overlord. I mean, if it's a crit, then yeah, crits are gonna deal a lot of damage, so that's at least excusable. I will definitely say the bleeding enemies and whatnot is all right, but the fact they explode on death for 400%, that's normal for explosions. I don't think the 15% for maximum health is needed, but I would say that's a lot more balanced than the legendary item in this case, since it's only from a specific boss. But I would put that at like a 6 or a 7. I'd definitely say the most broken of those three is the legendary item, seeing that there is guaranteed legendaries and whatnot. Another game that I can think of that can have some pretty broken items is Muck. If you actually get the money and luck for it. Like, you can get some insane stuff. Certain things only stack to a certain amount, if I remember correctly, but there's one that's literally like, when you hit an enemy, you have a chance to strike lightning down on them or something like that. But it also works on resources. You're crit by 10%, you can stack it. The fact you can stack any item. I mean, fair. Not all games allow for stack of every item, and I think that it's a missed opportunity for some. But I feel like there should be a limit to stacking. I think Isaac does it really well, where it's like, okay, after you get you've seen or touched every item, you breakfast out. No more items that aren't breakfast. But some items do stack if you manage to get multiple. Sure, tell me the limit. But like, for example, if you get 2 brimstones, you get a wider, stronger beam. There is none in Risk of Rain 2. Honestly, I feel like if there's no limit, that can be very risky. Like, some items just don't have it, is how long your PC lasts. You know what? Fair. Like, some items in Binding of Isaac do stack, while others don't. For example, the familiars stack until a certain cap. I believe it's 84. But others, like the breakfasts and whatnot, will stack until you have max red hearts. And then they just heal you. But they can stack infinitely. PJs is another one where it's like, if you got multiple, it just gives you more health. Like, cool. More health. If you get multiple, like, little hushies, for example, it's going to give you multiple that bounce around the room. And it works that way for, like, all, like, the pets and whatnot. Another one, for example, that does stack, but not the best stacking, let's be honest here, is frickin', oh my god, Ludovico. Same for Mutant Spider and 2020. Like, they don't stack. Also, I realized we forgot to turn our monkey knowledge back on. But, like, Ludovico stacks. Or at least it used to. I don't know if it still does. But Mutant Spider and 2020 stack. Does it mean that they're good? No. But I really don't care enough. I'm just getting past that round right now. Armor piercing. Then we'll get Balloon-Tonium Reactor. But what it used to do is just constantly do it, but now it goes up to 16 per. And it used to do some different stuff when combined with each other. Now it just like does small things, but it's more balanced. The thing that stacked the most though is the babies in Binding of Isaac. Another one I can think of that has a lot of stacking, Muck. Most of them are infinite in quotations. And the reason I say in quotations is because the map is limited. And like the map only has a limited amount of stuff you can get. Can you get stuff from bosses? Yes. But after a point, it's like, you might as well just finish the game. But like, you can stack I know some of them have their limits, like the Thor one I believe does. I know it's been so long since I've played. Another game that doesn't have limits on some of their upgrades is Bounty of One. Like your upgrades to your attacks, etc. To your attack speed and whatnot. Doesn't have a limit. But the more you get, the less exponential it will be. Because it's percentage based. But it also has that cap type thing where it's like it starts taking less. An idea: 4 heresy items, rank them, belong to a special tier called Lunar, which you go through a special shop to buy between stages after finding a certain statue in said stage. Interesting. We're only going to 60. Let's get another sub. Wrong sub. Actually, you know what? I can just do this. But, you know what? Are we at ads yet? Yeah, we should be at ads by now. Once it's back from ads, I guess I'll ask, sure. If I remember. I should, but I might not. Might get distracted. I mean, at least we're blackboarding quick enough to make this like, okay, cool, done. Chimps shouldn't be too bad if it weren't for the fact that Chimps is actually impossible on this map, if I remember correctly. Or at least, no, not Chimps. Chimps is possible. It's not possible on the other version of this map. So, yeah. I do like that this is a water-based map for the most part, for like a beginner map. I think that's really nice. And you don't even need to use water, but it's still like, but the fact that it's mostly water is so nice. Yeah, we could easily destroy 60 at this point. I have some really fun stuff planned. Oh. And there goes some more. I definitely need to get a bunch of smaller, like shorter games, like hour-long to like half-an-hour-long games to add as like a list of short but sweet games that we can play on stream for a day. That'd be fun. And depending on which ones we find, okay. Oh, sorry. And depending on the game, we can always just like see if it exists. If it doesn't, meh. In terms of like on the Twitch side of things. If it doesn't, I'll just do like one of the things that allows me to. Because I know I'm going to be playing quite a few games. I'm really excited for. Because like I could easily do short games or long games. I mean, Admiral Brickle's probably one of the better ones for this map. Honestly, I don't really need a hero. I think what I'm gonna do is this. Pete message responded. Yeah. When it comes to your message, sure. Do tell me about these items. But one thing I did want to talk a bit about. So there's actually a few games that are like 30 minutes to an hour that I want to put on a list of just like, these could be a fun stream. I'd love to do some of those. I'd also like to eventually set up like ROM hacks of like Pokemon games to play. I think that would be really fun. It just would take like a long time to do, and I just haven't done it because I keep forgetting. But it would be really fun. I know they're also working on an Infinite Fusion Hoenn because they can't really fit more regions into Infinite Fusion, apparently. Or at least to my knowledge. I don't know the extent. But it makes me really excited. Like, if they do like 2 gens and like her, that'd be pretty cool. Like, if they decide to do a Pokemon Infinite Fusion of Paldea with like Hidakami and Blueberry Academy and Unova mixing, that'd be cool. Honestly, I feel like if they did a Unova one, you would have to mix in Blueberry Academy. Vision of Heresy, replace your primary skill with a Hungering Gaze. Fire a flurry of tracking shards that detonate and delay, dealing. Okay. 12 charges, 12 per stack. Reload after 2 seconds, 2 per stack. Okay, so it does have a downside. I mean, that's not that bad in terms of balance for that one, but it's also probably gonna be the most common that we see. Sorry about the yawn. Lunar items are like a double-edged sword. Okay. So basically a balanced... So they're probably going to be a lot more balanced, is what I'm hearing. Because that double-edged sword effect, like, side. Like, when I think of, like, good double-edged swords when it comes to, like, games, I think of stuff like Soy Melt in Binding of Isaac, where, like, your tier rate gets pushed past the cap, but you lose most of your damage, but you can just go... And it's really good with stuff like knockback and pierce, for example. Another one that I can think of as a good double-edged sword is frickin' Dr. Fetus in Binding of Isaac. Your tears turn into bombs. You get all sorts of stuff, loads of damage, the ability to explode. Double-edged sword, you don't have normal tears. They can't really go over gaps. Well, like, at least I don't think they can normally. But you also can blow yourself up. There's a lot of stuff like that that's just like, oh yeah, it sucks. Ipecac is a similar one where it also increases your tier height as well. I can think of a few, like, in general. Strides of Heresy. Replace your utility skill with Shadow Fade. Fade away, becoming intangible, gaining 30% movement speed. Heal 18.2% per stack. Last for 3 seconds per stack. Okay. Interesting. So eventually you would just get to 100%, but you become intangible. My guess is the intangibility means that you can't attack either, if I'm reading it right, or similar, but that seems pretty powerful in its own regard. If it makes you unable to attack, I can see like the double-edged sword side of it. Yeah, you can't attack. Yeah, I had a feeling because the double-edged sword thing you mentioned. I definitely can see how that becomes an issue if you once it starts lasting longer and longer. Like you heal more, but you're stuck like that for longer. I mean, it definitely could be good for getting past rooms if you don't need to kill all the enemies in the room for it, depending on the type of game you're playing. Um, and I can definitely see that. I definitely think there is a lot of use for it, and it has its downsides. It reminds me a bit of, like, for example, the Psycho Knife in Terraria and, like, the Shroomite armor in Terraria. When you go invisible, your speed is awful, but you deal more damage. Also, after I mention them all, I'll tell you some of the bonus facts about heresy items. Okay. I think the weird part is when you first said heresy, I read it as Hershey, like, in my brain. Like, this is the stuff that does happen for me, is like, oh, yes, Hershey items. And I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. My favorite new item, the Hershey item. Okay, little rant about Hershey's. I hate that they consider themselves chocolate when, for the longest time, and I don't know if it's changed yet or not, like, their dark chocolate was not able to be considered dark chocolate, if I remember correctly, because it just had such a low coca amount. Always annoyed me. Because I like dark chocolate. Like, I like dark chocolate. Dark chocolate, 10 out of 10 for me. I love the bitterness. I love its use cases. Hooks of Heresy. Replace your secondary skill with Slicing Maelstrom. Charge up projectile that deals 875% damage per second to nearby enemies, exploding after a second, dealing 700% damage, and root enemies for 3 seconds per stack. Takes 5 seconds per to reset. Okay. So I'm guessing that, I mean, that seems pretty powerful and like broken, but seeing that you need to find a certain statue, etc. Okay, fair. But I definitely can see how that like is not good to like stack too much, because that can definitely get out of hand in terms of like recharging. But my guess is when it says recharging, it means you can't do shit while recharging. Which, if so, rip. Because 5 seconds can make or break you in roguelikes. The longer a fight takes, the easier it is to mess up. It's just the inevitability with roguelikes and stuff. Like, I love roguelikes and all, but I have seen very much that they can be a pain in the butt with that stuff. Let's get reverse done. Reverse is easy. It's the same thing, just backwards, except they enter and exit the same area here. Let's do a different strategy. Do I have any good villages? That works. Mention one of the facts, because if you stack 2 heresy items too much, the recharge will take forever. Oh yeah, like, because recharge is definitely, it sounds like it, because 5 seconds can make or break so much in a game. So recharge is like, it should not be understated how powerful recharge can be for an item. Like, I can think of several reasons it can be a pain in the butt, because recharge just is that way inherently. Especially in roguelikes and games similar, that recharge absolutely destructive in boss fights. Last heresy item, Essence of Heresy. Replace your special skill with Ruin. Dealing damage as a stack of Ruin for 10 seconds per stack. Activating the skill detonates all Ruin stacks at unlimited range, dealing 300% damage plus 120% damage per stack of Ruin. Recharges after 8 seconds. I can definitely see the reason you would want it, because that like can be really good on bosses or like big rooms, like bosses that summon enemies or like rooms with loads of enemies in it. I can see its use case, but that stack definitely can be deadly. I can definitely see that recharge time, but also the time between. So it's like you want the stack, but that recharge becomes an issue. Because, like, let's say you have a weapon with good pierce. You can hit loads of things and then just boom within a few seconds. But making it last longer, there's a special thing if you have all 4 heresy items. Interesting. I love when there's stuff like that, like, I think I can think of like a few things, like Binding of Isaacs, for example. Like you get 3 of like specific items and you turn into Seraphim or Fun Guy or Bob, for example, like transformations. I love when games do stuff like that because it makes them feel so much more fun to get. This glue gunner is just like, taste my fury. From a secret character known as the Heretic, or is like called the Bird with the Scythe Hands, and has heart disease. Interesting. Sounds interesting. I'm sorry, but that's just such a great name. Ah, yes, the bird with scythe hands and heart disease. Whatever will we do? You don't have HP regen, and you have HP depletion. Interesting. I do like when there's secret characters, i.e. how one of the things I can think of, I know I reference Isaac a lot, but it's because I've beaten the game so many times. Like, the way you unlock the Lost is you have to die. You have to sacrifice yourself with the missing page, basically, to become the Lost. Or you have to die and then beat a run as the Lost. I don't remember if you have to beat a run after sacrifice, though. Off the top of my head, I just don't remember. But because you haven't had the Lost unlocked, it also means you don't have Holy Mantle. So you get 1 hit and you're dead. So, rip. Primary mentoring. Also, fun fact about the balloon solver, it can in fact solo past frickin' round 60. I've done it before. I like how we're just, because we're just one tower all the pots right now. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da. Ba-ba-bum, bum, bum, bum. Ba-da-ba-bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, ba-da-bum, bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Um, I love the Balloons music way too much. You know, I, I remember playing Balloons TD back when it was still new. And I remember playing each of them. And it's just crazy how far this game has come from just the simple little like 2D PNGs and the ice tower not even being a monkey, the triple spike up ult before Juggernaut existed. It's crazy. Finally, your computer didn't want to Wi-Fi today, so it took me till now to get stream working. Fair. Also, hello there, Het. How are you doing? Guess what? There's another tier of items. Jesus Christ. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of tiers of items depending on what the game is, i.e., just look at like some of them. Playing Blueprints. I've heard about that game and I've heard it's good. It's on my list of to play eventually, but I just haven't gotten there. Right now we're working on blackboarding, and then I gotta get to work after stream. Yay. But I know I'm excited for D&D tomorrow. The provider, my internet provider, said they'd get the internet shit fixed soon. Void tier. Honestly, fair. I can understand why there's specific tiers. It was offered mods. You are offered mod status today? Damn. For me, whenever I'm offered mod status, I usually decline because it's like, I really don't care and I don't have the time. And most of the time I have stuff in the background. You refuse? Yeah, that's fair. Like, I understand that wholeheartedly. Because, like, for me, I moderate my own stream for the most part. Like, I have a moderator whenever they're free, but work can be an issue. I usually moderate myself pretty well. Twitch's auto thing helps a lot. But I also did fix tits. So TTS actual not TTS. So Twitch integrated throwing system actually does work now. That can't handle that kind of power. That's fair. Not everyone can. I know for me, it's like I just know that I usually am like having it in the background. Like, just because I've been at most streams since the beginning does not mean I am watching it 100%. I'm usually listening. Let's get Apocalypse down. One void tier item, it's really, really, really don't like it with passion. Fair. I can understand not liking items. I have my fair few items that I just do not like that other people do. Like, there are people who loved Glitched Crown and Isaac. I hate it because I find it to be more of an issue to do because of how many items it cycles through. Sure. Tell me what. Tell away. I'm totally fine with hearing about it. But, my brain just completely farted there. Just like... just complete static. One of those days. I will say, I've been working on a commission for someone for a con coming up for a room poster type thing. And it's like, I need to finish that like soon. I just haven't had time with work, etc. It's like, I need to get it done too. You want a werewolf room? Honestly, that sounds interesting. You're on day 19 with the blueprints and you think you have a strategy figured out. Wonder how mods for that game will look. I don't know. I have never watched blueprints because I've wanted to keep myself like spoiler free whenever it's to like games I want to play usually. But a werewolf room sounds really fun. I won't even lie and say, oh, it doesn't sound fun. No, that sounds awesome. Called newly hatched Zoya. Every 60 minus 50% per stack seconds, gain a random void ally. You can have one plus one per stack allies at a time. Corrupts all boss items. Interesting. Imagine it like a hunting room, but with werewolves. Aww. It's not 14 werewolves. Jokes aside, though, that's usually what happens in games. You always have to hunt, never deal with them in fun and entertaining ways that may or may not include certain adjectives and nouns in it. um, there we go. Hot shot. And then I'll get long range and whatnot. They corrupt certain items. Interesting. Where they all jump, scare hug you. You act like, I mean, honestly, I'm not against it. I know some people would be, but I'm not. I I will say, when it comes to a game where I know jump scares are gonna be in it, I like horror games, I'm a lot less affected than when it's a game that's like not. But I'm less affected when it's a horror game compared to a normal game because I'm expecting it. So like when I'm playing Minecraft and a creeper appears, I'm more likely to be jump scared than when like I get attacked in like phasmophobia. I just have less of a reaction. Bum 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 ba-da-dum, 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 bum 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 ba-da-dum, bum bum bum. But in all honesty, I think the crazy like a lot of stuff just doesn't. It's weird. A lot of the stuff from horror games don't scare me just because my brain is so used to it. It's jump scares that usually will get me to jump. But otherwise, usually what gives me like the most fear in a game is like just the basic like ambience. And like when a jump scare happens, 9 times out of 10, I might jump, but I don't scream usually unless it's in a game I'm not expecting jump scares. So a non-horror game. And that's just how I am. Am I crazy about it? No, but like if I were to play Subnautica, would I jump? Yes. Would I make a noise? I have no clue. I've never played Subnautica, but I know enough about it. I know when Subnautica 2 comes out, I want to play it with one of my friends. It might be on stream, it might not. Just depends. But I really love Subnautica. Like, as a game, I think it's a really cool game. Like, I think the story of it's interesting. The community, on the other hand, is a whole other set of worms. Same thing with Deltarune. You played it a couple times? Nice. From my experience with seeing it, Deltarune and Undertale and Subnautica have some very like crazy communities when it comes to people trying to experience the first time of the game. And it's what made me wonder if I want to play Deltarune on stream, because it's like, do I really want to put up with the community? And that's kind of what I've had to think. It doesn't mean I don't want to play it, just, yeah. 3 types of Void allies. Reaver, Void Jailer, Void Devastator. Reason why you hate the item is because when the Void enemy dies, they release a bubble, and it's one shot no matter what, and the Void Reaver has a medium size, Void Jailer has a bubble that will follow you for a limited time. Thankfully, the Void Devastator has a bubble that's very big. Unreasonably big. Interesting. You don't have to get involved in the community. The issue is less about like getting involved in the community and more about like if I were to stream it for that type of stuff, because no matter what, there's always going to be those types of people, and it just sucks. Because it's like, I definitely am like, I want to enjoy it, but I also don't want people to spoil shit for me. Like, when I say no spoilers, I mean no spoilers, unless I like ask for help or like for spoilers, because that's usually how I am. Like, I just prefer not to be spoiled when playing games, i.e. Cult of the Lamb. Even if they're your allies, you still get hit by it. Interesting. Which is kind of dumb. I will say that. That does sound pretty dumb. Like, a one-shot to you and ally, and, like, enemies is dumb. You never finished Deltarune? Honestly, I haven't even touched it, really. I know there's, like, Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 and 4 are coming out later this year and whatnot, and 5 was, like, on the horizon, and it's like, I want to play it, and I probably will off stream, but if I do it on stream, my biggest worry would be the community. Like, dear God. Like, don't get me started on the Undertale community. Yeesh. The Undertale community is a whole separate bag of worms. You know, I just had a thought. Anybody remember Amino when that was an app? I wonder whatever happened to that. It kind of just vanished from, like, people mentioning it after a while. Newly hatched, the void enemies bubbles also affect the other enemies as well, so chain reaction. Interesting. What do I want to use? And I will put this guy here. Sharper prongs. Every community can get toxic under the right circumstances. Yeah, I think the reason with like Deltarune I'm the most is because with Deltarune and Undertale, there's always going to be people who are like, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, and try to take control. And it's like, bro, just like at that point, you just want to tell them, shut the fuck up. Like, and it gets so annoying. Because I've seen that happen with Subnautica too, and it's why it's like, I want to play it on stream, but I also know that there's going to be people like that. It's like, I'd rather spend time building in Subnautica if I were to play it. I know how I am. I would spend more time building than some people would like. Because I enjoy that stuff. Doesn't mean I wouldn't explore, of course, but I would just enjoy making a cozy place. But yeah, every community is toxic in some form. There's just some that are, like, unbearably so. Undertale's probably one of the worst offenders of that one in terms of stuff because of how, like, Jesus Christ it gets with its community. Because I'm trying to tell you what to do, and Weas telling me was doing wrong, and I was like, dude, shut up, let me figure it out on my own. Yeah, like, if someone asks for help, help them. But if they don't, just keeping your mouth shut is all you need to do. I know from experience, sometimes it's better to just not say anything. I know from a lot of experience. Like, do I accidentally say things sometimes? Yeah, everyone does. No one's perfect. But it doesn't mean I don't enjoy, like, playing games without spoilers. Like, that's one of the reasons I enjoyed Akami so much, is it wasn't spoiled for me. Same thing with Cult of the Lamb. The reason I enjoy it a lot is parts weren't spoiled without my, like, me asking. And it's the same thing with a lot of puzzles. I just don't want people to spoil puzzles, and, like, if I'm having trouble, I'll ask for help. But it doesn't mean I want an answer to the puzzle, just a hint sometimes. And sometimes you just need that. Like, whenever it comes to points where I'll watch a streamer play a game and stuff, I always try to stick to how I would want to be treated in that situation. And I feel like a lot of people don't do that when they should. Like, that's just an internet thing, though, and just, like, a basic respect type thing. But for example, one of the games I can think of is frickin'... Okay, close. I do not want to die to those. But one of the games I can think of, other than Undertale, Deltarune, and whatnot, that just, like, people get so specific, is not even just a specific game, but a game type. And it's usually the, like, multiple choice games where it's like, for example, Baldur's Gate. Sometimes people will just get so damn, like, head over heels for something and get so pissed when someone does something wrong. It's like, bro, everyone plays the game differently. Same thing with Terraria. Like, I've been teaching my friend how to play, but he knows bosses up to the Wall of Flesh to an extent. That's the last boss he knows. And if we get time, I'm gonna basically fight it with him this weekend, if possible. If we get time. But when it came to, like, the dungeon and stuff, I didn't tell him you should go in there. I just said, oh, cool, the dungeon. Like, in passing, after he had already referenced, looks like a dungeon. Or like the Queen Bee larva, where he's like, I was like, I wouldn't touch that right now. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, you can touch it now if you want to, after we're both ready. And he got jump scared by the Queen Bee. Like, having those points of, like, giving room for them to, like, understand and make their own mistakes and, like, figure things out is good. Like, when he got hit by the Dungeon Guardian, I was like, a reason I didn't tell you is because I knew about it, and I'm like, doesn't mean I'm just gonna do it. It's like, cool. And then when he's like, where's the old man? After the old man died, I was like, he was Skeletron. He's like, oh. But I also taught him stuff that is, like, a lot more, like, nuance, like happiness. And I actually got him to try building differently as well, and not just putting himself down in Terraria. And it's like, he went from a box of hardened sand and hardened sandstone to actually making a nice snow house and stuff in the snow biome that's two different houses that connect with a little icy bridge. Like, there needs to be a balance. And I think most people can agree with that. The balance is important. Especially when you're like with games where you're teaching someone. That's how I like to teach personally, is I like to teach through experience. Like, when my friend Nate was playing Minecraft for the first time, I didn't tell him everything about the game. He already knew quite a bit anyway. But I gave him, like, some tips. When it comes to, like, some of my other friends, when they ask about building in Minecraft, I give them tips. I don't tell them you have to do this, you have to do that. No. Like, I give them tips of, like, what can look good. Like, you could do this, or you could do this, but there's also other possibilities, too, if you look for it. And I feel like leaving teaching very open-ended in that regard is actually really good in a lot of cases when it comes to, like, teaching how to do something. When it comes to history, on the other hand, that's a whole separate thing, because history isn't exactly open-ended. Like, history is history for a reason, but people should still be able to know what happened in history. And it's not always easy to learn that stuff. I know, like, compared to my sister, I did amazing in history. Like, every time. Even in middle school, I always have been good at history. I don't know why. But she's always been better overall than me. I just have a few subjects I excel at and have a lot better, like, time. Friend tells you can tell something, but I want to try and figure it out on your own sometimes. Exactly. Like, I felt the same way with, like, Little Nightmares, where it's like I wanted to do a lot of that stuff on my own. Was it perfect? No, it was far from it. But it was fun being able to do it myself. And it's like, when you enjoy a game so much, you get so excited that it's like, oh my god, I want to play this, etc. And people sometimes spoil it, like Hollow Knight, for example. Like, whenever it, like, I watch one of the streamers I normally watch play Hollow Knight, I basically gave them, like, tips of, like, oh yeah, by the way, if you hold down, you can look down, because I never noticed it till, like, 10 hours into the game. Like, I had beaten the game before I realized you could do that. When I first played. Like, I remember, that's one of the few things I do remember. And it's like, yeah. But I also would be like, but I wasn't gonna just say, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. Like, when he was about to fight the sealed vessel, it was like, I was like, there is possible endings. So like, when he was going to the abyss, I was like, depending on what you do, this will lock you out of a ending. And I feel like kind of that mix like that is good, where it's like, if, because they even specifically ask, is there anything this will stop me from getting? Like, yeah, yes, there is. But is it something super important? Depends who you are. And I think that's very important to remember. I'm doing this mainly for the extra lead damage and whatnot. But I know for me, it's like, I couldn't care less about some of the stuff that I experience. But other people might. And it's important to remember that. Like, I may not like first-person shooters, but other people do. I may love Slime Rancher, but some people don't. And people should be able to figure out that stuff on their own. Do I think Terraria or Binding of Isaac is beginner-friendly? Far from it. But I definitely think, like, Terraria should have its tutorial world from console and whatnot on, like, the main thing. But I also can understand from the perspective of, it's not too bad. Example, one time he was struggling on the boss and suggested, hey, maybe instead of constantly fighting it over and over and dying, maybe try getting better armor and weapons. Like, yeah. Like, that's at least one where it's like, if you're dying repeatedly, like, and whatnot, sometimes that's just a good thing to say, depending on who it is. Like, if someone's struggling and they're like, no, I want to keep trying before I do anything like that, okay, they want to keep trying. But if they're like, yeah, that actually might not be a bad idea, that's a separate thing. But it shouldn't be pushed further. And I remember when I first played, like, Dark Souls and shit, I didn't want any spoilers for, like, how to beat certain bosses. I wasn't the best. I also wasn't the worst. Same thing with God of War. When I played God of War 2018, I believe it was, or was it 2014? It was the Norse God one. I still haven't played Ragnarok, but I've heard it's good, and I've been meaning to, and I just haven't gotten it for God of War Ragnarok, and I want to play it. But it's like, I didn't look up how to play and like how to beat certain things. I found it fun to just experience it on my own. And when it came to 100%ing it, did I look up where certain things were that I could not find for the life of me after like several hours? Yes. But that was after I had beaten the game for the most part after that, and like 100% in most of it before I even got to New Game Plus. But like, I definitely think there's like limits to that type of stuff. And knowing those limits is very important. Doesn't mean everyone will respect those limits. No. But even then, I definitely think it's important to have those types of boundaries as well. Like, I know my friend doesn't want to be spoiled on Tears of the Kingdom because he hasn't played it. And it's like, okay, I won't spoil it. That's up to him. He just hasn't been able to play it or get it yet. He's been too busy. And you know what? Fair. He's a big Zelda lover. And I'm not going to spoil stuff for him. Like, yeah, there's stuff I've noticed like a long time later after playing Tears of the Kingdom. But I'm not going to just outright tell him. Like, there's like a lot of games are better when you get to experience them yourself for the first time. No like spoilers, no like big like look up this and that. Like when you get to experience a game for the first time with no spoilers, it has a completely different feeling and a completely different effect than if it's been spoiled or you've beaten, or this is like the 8th time you've beaten it. It's the same thing with watching shows. Some people get more enjoyment than others. Same thing with reading books. Like, yeah, I know how The Owl House ends and Supernatural ends. I still like to rewatch the shows. Same thing with Avatar and Legend of Korra. Like, there's just some that I like to watch, even though I know what's gonna happen. And like, there's even a whole story, like a story writing point to it of spoiling the end subtly. Like, let's look at how Avatar The Last Airbender did it. We always knew from the beginning of episode 1, I hope that the Avatar can free us. I know that the Avatar can save us, etc. We all, from the beginning, it was already stated, I know he can protect us and save the world. And we knew from like early season 1, he had to take out the Fire Lord. Did we know how he was going to get to that and that he was going to get to that? We knew he was going to. We didn't know how. And that's what made the story interesting. But for other stories, you don't want that. I.e., D&D, for example. It's a story game. If you outright say, oh, I'm the big bad evil guy and now you have to defeat me in like 80 sessions, that doesn't always work. Sometimes it's better to have a slow burn. Like Harry Potter, for example. As much as I don't like J.K. Rowling for so many reasons, it's a good place to look at it of, was Voldemort mentioned until that end thing? Not really. Like, we didn't know a lot until a lot later. But it's also important to remember that, of like, that stuff's really important to remember. It can make huge differences. You know what, seeing the fact that we have like only a few minutes left in stream, I'm gonna actually what's this challenge? 5 to 60 with limited upgrades, where I'm basically stuck with bottom paths mainly. Okay. I can do this. Like, let's just do a challenge for the fun of it. But I like, and we can only use one of each. Interesting. I do like challenges that do stuff like that. It's cool. Interesting. But for me, it's like, I love stories. I love writing. I love reading. And it doesn't mean that everything is going to be hunky-dory at the end of the book. But there are some examples of how certain things can work compared to others. Like, if you went off the bat in, like, I don't know, like, we all knew, for example, like when we play a game like Mario, the end goal, defeat the final boss. That's how most games are. It's that form of storytelling. But in some cases, it's through foreshadowing. Like, it could be small hints. Like, let's say, oh, this person is trying to escape a lab. There's several points that he gets hit in the head, goes through, like, things that blur his vision, make things weird. At the end, told it's that at some point it became a dream when he was trying to escape. Then you go back and look at it, and it's like, all these points could have been points, and it makes you start to think. That's one way you could do a story. Another way through foreshadowing is like Alice in Wonderland. The reason the whole It's a Dream thing works is because it's so goddamn insane for, like, what you see happen in the book. It doesn't make it any less so, but it explains with that. And that's important. And some stories will be like that. And honestly, I like when stories are like that. They make you think. Foreshadowing is so fun. I love when, like, shows and movies as well do, like, the dumbest but funniest short foreshadowing that makes so much sense after you've watched it. A few I can think of is, like, Amphibia. I won't say what it is because it's, like, really important to the plot. But the foreshadowing is one of the weirdest, like, things from just a one-off episode. Like, that has a little intrigue of, like, what the hell? But then comes back in such a big thing. And I love that. It, like, one of the biggest foreshadowings in Amphibia is literally the title. And, like, the whole, like, moment where you get the theme song and whatnot, like, it literally foreshadows stuff. And I find that so cool that, like, even that small bit can. Owl House did the same thing with one of the creatures that Luce had to eventually fight. And other, like, shows and movies have done that too. Supernatural, for example. Each season, different title type. But it always related to the season. I.e., the sound of an angel, or, like, the, like, pattern of a demon. Stuff like that. And it was important in some form. And I love that stuff so damn much. It makes me so happy when I get to see that type of stuff in video games and, like, books, of all these different storytelling styles and types, because it makes a difference. And it doesn't mean spoilers are good, but adding it in a certain way, like foreshadowing or, like, hints, it makes the reader or player, in a lot of cases, feel a lot better. Because they are like, oh, I figured it out. Or, oh, so this is how it would have, this is how it happened. There's limits. But it's cool. Like, there's all sorts of stuff with it. And I'd love to see more. Oh, balls. Seeing how little time... you remember saw a video a while ago, like this game where you're running from this monster. At the end, you suddenly start hearing an alarm clock and it cuts character waking up in a bed. Text pops up on the screen saying, "What was it? What was that? Who knows? I need to take my meds." Never could find that game again, though. I know, right? Like, there's games like that that's like, holy shit. And then just after, it's like, are we ever going to see that again? No? What the hell? Like, I know that so well. Also, I love all these skins, but I've been coming in here. Like, I could get this one. This one. I might get this one. There's also this. I do like this one too, though. Boop, boop. Sunshine is another one too. Let's get tribes. And then I can go into our jukebox and just bump. Look how many we have in this now. We have so many. It's actually crazy. Other than that, though, it's just, so that ending was basically, I have 1,000 questions, and then what the fuck's going on? Exactly. I love games with that type of thing where it's like, they give you a lot of questions, and it doesn't feel flat. Either way, though, exclamation mark Dislab, if you're not already part of the Discord. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. CST. I sometimes end a bit early, sometimes a little later. I always announce if something happens on the Discord. The days I don't stream, though, exclamation mark YouTube. Every Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday, a VOD comes out on the VOD channel at 8 a.m. CST. Other than that, I hope you have wonderful days. I am going to go get ready for work, and I will see you all